Yes. All right. Welcome to DK Radio, episode 4. We're here live, reporting live from the gutter. First and foremost, I want to, there we go. Looking at some of the film from last week's performance. Just being in the locker room with our coaches, kind of going over what we liked and what we didn't like. I thought could have provided better on the audio front. I didn't think my voice sounded great. I reached out to our technical consultant, Ian, and he said that I sounded like a police dispatcher on like an episode of Cops from the 90s. So I went and bought a mic. We got a mic right here. It's clipped onto my shirt, so hopefully this works better. Just wanted to apologize to the fans off the bat. Won't let that one happen again, folks. Promise.
No, I thought you sounded really good, but I also think that, Ian's our designated audio consultant now, and I just haven't heard from him ever. So I'm going to need him to step it up a little bit. But yeah, Kev, I think we're ready to rock for episode 4 of Don't Know Radio. Did you happen to go to Redbox this past weekend?
Yeah. I want to say yes, but under good conscience. I just can't lie. I can't lie on Redbox's name. I hold too much respect for them in my heart. I did not make it out to a Redbox this weekend. I was like leveling sand and setting up a pool at Jenna's parents' house, and all day Saturday. And then like we just swam in the pool on Sunday. That was basically it. But that's on me. Redbox. I'll do better next week. That's a problem.
Yeah, no, I think us shouting him out on the podcast. Did go to Redbox? I got 2 things to say actually. But my first thing would be that I watched Uncut Gems on Redbox.
Great movie.
Good movie. I really think the ending was horrible, but Redbox was great. And I also want to say, to go off that, Kev, is we put out a little teaser there. Is I might have thrown you under the bus a little bit on Twitter with your girlfriend. How is that going? And are you out of the doghouse yet?
Yeah. So yeah, we had to have some discussions. She's accepted it. She says that since I'm not in her top 2 smartest people, that I'm not in her top 2 funniest people. So I got the 3rd spot on that as well. I know. Hey, well played. I'd be hard pressed for her to find someone that she knows is funnier than me. But well played on her end. We got to give it up for Steve Smitty in last week's episode. I think if anything, Connor proved himself there, and now it might be a battle between Gitter and Jenna for that 2 spot. I think Connor's performance last week, there's no denying.
Right. It's a clear number 1 at this point, and Gitter's been really giving us a lot of good feedback, and he wants to come on the show, and so I think once we have him on, it's going to be a real battle. And I think maybe once we get Jenna on the show, that's kind of when I think our listeners are just going to say, like, how do they know such smart people?
Yeah.
These guys are dumb.
Yeah.
So I think
100%.
that's 100%. So, speaking of us, not really knowing a lot of stuff, Kev, what's one thing this week that you don't know how to do?
Oh man. Let's see. I always come with one written down pre-epi. Oh yeah, dude. I didn't know how to get into the pool at Jenna's apartment on I think it was on Monday. I think I texted you. We were out just catching some sun. I put on that SPF 30. I rub on. I got that layer on. I did everything right on my end. But we went out to the pool, and like there was the one entrance we thought we could get on. There was a lock, so we did all the way around the perimeter of the pool, and there's like all these people in it, and like we're going around the gate, and just like we're looking. There wasn't any doors, so then we walked, and at the front, like the pool, I don't know how to describe it. At the front of the pool, there was like a office sort of space, like a welcome center for the apartment complex, something like that. And I don't know. Then we saw a sign on that door. We were looking for doors. Like 2 of them were closed, and then we saw one door open. It said you have to have a mask on inside. And we just said, I'm going to go for it. And no one inside had a mask on, and then that's how you got to the pool. You had to go through like the little welcome center right when you get to the apartment. So that's what I didn't know. And it was like a decent struggle,
Yeah. Doors and gates are hard sometimes. I mean, think about
especially when you don't know which direction to push or to pull.
Yeah.
That really gets me. It really gets me.
Whoever invented like we're gonna push some doors and pull some doors is probably like the biggest prankster in history.
they were cracking up. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Why isn't it just universal? Like all doors push, all doors pull.
Right.
You
And I
know.
think that person's probably not with us anymore because there's been doors for a long time in existence. And so I think when they got to heaven or wherever they went, they they just still like what's their ideal heaven is just constantly watching people push a pull door and pull a push door. I mean, so yeah, Kev, I feel that 100%.
No, I would say due to all the annoyance that person caused for years to come by the confusion between push and pull doors, I would venture to say he got reincarnated as like a tree, but not like one of those endangered species trees that like you can't cut down. He's probably like, he's like he got reincarnated into a tree that is the type of wood made to make doors. Be my guess.
Right. So then maybe like he gets made into one of those doors that like never really opens. So he's just constantly shut.
Man.
Like in an old house
Hey.
where does that door go? Oh, no one knows. It's never been opened before.
Yeah.
So
you would never guess what that guy did in his previous life.
and then it would make sense once you figured it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man, what was your IDK of the week? What was something you learned, didn't know?
So this is one that I've had in my head for a long time, even before we started this, and this is kind of like something that I don't know how to do, and I feel like almost everyone our age doesn't know how to do, and that's read a map.
Oh.
So
why?
Yeah, well, exactly. So I drove up to Cleveland this weekend to see my new nephew. Shout out to Luke; he's pretty cute. So
Yeah.
I thought, it'd be fun to do it sans GPS with only a map of where I'm going, and it's a pretty straight drive. And let me tell you, that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in terms of navigation.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so this goes back even a ways. When my sister was in high school, when she first got her driver's license, she didn't know how to drive to the high school when she became a junior. And so also, like, people just don't know how to use maps or even go somewhere without navigation. Like, we depend on navigation for everything. And I think if, like, GPS just ceased to work, it would be bad.
Yeah. No, I would agree. Like, I remember being younger, like, driving down to, like, Florida with, like, the family, and like, my parents having, like, big-ass, like, Atlas shit, you'd pull out. And then, Bob Kenny would be, like, getting all pissed in the passenger seat. He's like, oh, you fucking can't read this shit, And then, like, it's just, like, so beat. Like, are we Lewis and Clark? Like, I don't know. We don't need the maps. We have the apps. That's a bar.
Wow, that's a bar. That is a bar. That is a bar.
Damn.
Yeah, we're gonna tweet that.
I agree though. Like but I also remember, when we were younger, having to like print out MapQuest directions.
MapQuest. I was just thinking about that.
Remember that, dude? Like before, like if I was like going to see a new friend or like like something like that, like didn't know where I was going when I was younger. It's just like I gotta print out these MapQuest.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unreal.
Dude, MapQuest. We should get them as a sponsor. How do you think they're doing?
Yes. We gotta start putting on for MapQuest.
Maybe we make a rule to not use GPS and only use MapQuest.
So okay. So this is where it all comes together. You rent your car from Enterprise using MapQuest. You get to the destination of your nearest red box. Boom.
I'm trying to hit the air horn, but it's not working. Anyways, that would be a moment. So those are all of our sponsors, maybe while wearing some Stuck clothing. I think that's a great concept there, Kev. And the reason I was thinking about that is because I'm reading the Chronicles of Narnia right now.
Yeah.
And some people might say, David, you should read books for people your age. And I would just call you a fool. You read those Chronicles of Narnia books and they were navigating to the other part of the world that they live in. And, that's why I thought about the map stuff. But I just like to give a quick shout out to the Chronicles of Narnia and Prince Caspian. So, yeah, that's basically all I have to say about that. But, pretty much the best, one of the best series I've ever read. One of the most underrated.
Okay. I've never read it. I saw like one of the movies.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Susan is the GOAT. I mean, it's probably going to be like my crush forever. But yeah, so I could go talking about the Chronicles of Narnia all day, Kev. But you know, we could go a little bit more positive here. What's something that you do know how to do, or something you figured out?
Oh, dude, something I figured out. Like I said, I've been with Jenna all weekend. We were hanging out. We were playing some Call of Duty. I was playing Warzone for a while, and then I finally just went and bought the multiplayer pack with the multiplayer and the campaign, just the rest of the game basically on the new Call of Duty. So we've been putting in some work, just doing your classic like team deathmatch, just online Call of Duty games. And I realized I hate there's these people you'll be playing these games and they use a riot shield. So it's either in one or two spots. It's either on their back, because when they're not using it, it's just on their back. So I pull up on someone, I'm behind them, they got a riot shield. And I'm like shooting at them, but the riot shield's blocking it. And then once they flip it to the front, they'll charge at you. And I know every time it happens that me shooting at them is going to do nothing, but I cannot resist the urge to empty the full clip. And then I'm just emptying the full clip while this guy chases me. He waits till I have to reload, and then he stabs me on some absolute hoe shit. And I hit it. I hit it. And I don't know. Life gets tough sometimes. I get it. But my life's never been so bad that I was going to use, like, a riot shield and shipment 24/7. Just going to be me.
Yeah, those people are the worst. I mean, I feel like that's. Do you think that's better or worse than camping in like Call of Duty? Like someone who just camps out and shoots at you the whole time.
I personally think nothing wrong with camping.
Okay.
I feel like most maps, it's just like if the map is small enough where camping could be beneficial, I feel like you don't get away for that long. Because people respawn and they're like, oh, this dude's camping, like I know where he is, and they'll just, they'll come and get you at a better angle.
Okay.
But if you do that on like a bigger map, like sure, but then you're just like, I feel like people don't do that as much because you're committing to less kills. You have to like wait to see. That's just not the kind of player I am.
It's kind of boring.
I like run around the map and wait until I see someone and then shoot at them.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like what our army did in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, yeah. that was pretty accurate, Kev.
Non-political podcast. Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. So to go off that, kind of you talking about the person that you hate, wearing the riot shield. I've been thinking recently, quarantine's hopefully pretty much almost over. Socially distancing. I'm still kind of being
real quick. I hope I don't lose your train of thought. But
no, I got it.
Are you still quarantining after your sister had the baby, or did you just have to quarantine up until the baby? Like, how does
Dude,
that work?
That's a good question. So, I mean, I was very careful up till my sister had the baby. My other sister, who I just saw yesterday, has 2 kids. And so I'm probably still going to be pretty careful because I want to see them a lot. I'll still probably try to see some friends and maybe go out to a restaurant or two, but I don't foresee myself really going like balls to the walls and going back to normal anytime soon, especially because I don't have a job, so I don't really have to go to work. Shout out to that. So, yeah, I'll probably keep being safe a little bit, but I've already gotten some backlash from people like, oh, you got to get out there, live your life. I'm like, well, okay. That's what's up. So, yeah. So, no, that's a good question, Kev. I mean, what about you? Are you kind of getting back to normal?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I've been going to restaurants, so that's been kind of a thrill. Yeah, Indy is like Marion County is a little bit behind other people. But when I go to like Muncie or West Lafayette or back to Chesterton, like I can usually do pretty much anything there, except the bars aren't open. I don't think the bars open in Indy until July 4th.
Really?
I want to say.
That's really not that far away. I feel like June kind of
3.5 weeks.
June kind of snuck up on it. Starting June 10th.
Yeah, I mean, what did we say last episode?
Yeah.
When Kobe died.
Nothing's right. Nothing's right, and I agree with that. I mean, that was
nothing's right.
Yeah, and kind of
time's going by so fast too.
Yeah, there's some days that go by fast, and some days that just like don't end. So yeah, no. Excuse me. Talking about Kobe, and also talking about people we hate. I don't hate Kobe, but you got me thinking about pickup hoops. Like I love hoops. Kevin's heard this before, but I'm still gonna say this for the audience. Like I love pickup hoops. Yeah. And Kev talking about the guy who wears the riot shield on Call of Duty. Got me thinking about people I hate, and I can't stand people who go to play pickup basketball and try to coach the team while playing. Like,
Yep.
You automatically listening thought of someone like off the top of your head. You're like, oh yeah, that guy sucks, and a specific person popped into your head. It could be someone you know, like you're best friends with, or it could be just that one guy who wears like sweatpants every day to LA Fitness. So, I mean, this guy, I can't say enough about how much I hate him because he's just like chattering the whole time. Like, all right, let's do this, let's do this. And the best example I have of this is I was playing in the Presbyterian Church Men's League, Kev, and there's a random guy who got on our team. Never met him before, didn't know him, so we were all kind of just
Did
like,
you
"Hey,
fit?
no, we did not."
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
Continue. Okay.
I'll tell you why. So he
Okay.
kind of shows up and we're excited, ready to play, and he just goes, "All right, guys." I'm like, "Oh, new guy. Let's see what you got." He just goes, "All right, guys. Yeah, I think we should run the Princeton offense today."
Excuse me?
And I played horribly the rest of that day. Like we had 2 games, it was a doubleheader. I think I went 1 for 30 from the field because I couldn't get out of my head the entire time about how this like 40-year-old man wanted to run the Princeton offense. And I basically spent the last 2 years of my life, studying basketball. So I feel like
Right.
I really know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And there's probably been 2 to 3 coaches in the history of the game of basketball who've successfully taught the Princeton offense. And I couldn't believe that I was so fortunate to be playing with one of those coaches at my Presbyterian Church Men's League.
Yeah.
So
That's incredible. That's incredible. That is an Indiana, Indiana born and raised Hoosier. He just wants to get back to the state. He wants to grow more basketball. That's all
exactly. He feels like it's his right to teach us basketball when he's probably like never played before or really actually played. So, I mean, Kev, I am missing playing basketball and like being around basketball like every day, but also I'm not missing, that aspect of pickup basketball. So that's just kind of the thing that I'm not missing.
And I think pickup basketball is going to be nuts when, gym courts open back up and everyone's been, quarantined and pent up and all this anger and frustration. And it's going to be nuts. I mean, Yoshi always goes to LA Fitness and hoops. And the stories people take it so seriously.
Yeah.
It's game 7. It's game 7 of the NBA Finals.
Every day.
And it's just no, dude, it's 6 o'clock on Tuesday night at your Keystone LA Fitness. Go make dinner for your kids.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I totally agree. I think it'll get worse.
I'm not hating on people getting their exercise on, having fun. But what are you trying to prove out there?
Yeah.
What do you got to prove out there?
When I play pickup basketball, I want to win. I'm trying hard, but also I realize that it's not the end of the world. And I agree. I think it's going to be a lot more competitive and, people are just going to start going at people's necks. And I want to also make a point that I think that the call your own foul rule in pickup basketball is the best and also the worst invention of basketball history. Because it's great.
Yeah.
It's awful because no one calls fouls, and I'm fine with that. I'd rather play with no fouls in pickup basketball than people who just touch you and call a foul. But everyone knows that one guy, every time he goes in the paint, he thinks, he's Steph Curry and he's going to go shoot 10 free throws a game. But it's also the funniest thing ever to watch 2 grown men argue about slapping each other.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing better.
Yeah.
Oh, the and one phrase. Shout out JD Miller. JD, I know you're not listening to this, but the and one phrase is the most overused phrase I think in the history of the world.
Oh my gosh.
So
Agreed.
I got on a little bit of a rant there, Kev. I appreciate you indulging me. So, and I think maybe at some point I want to go over the stereotypes of pickup basketball, but I need to wait a little bit till I get more in the pickup who's flow and I play a few games. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But we can carry on to the theme of basketball. We'll talk about the NBA a little bit, but 2 things I wanted to touch on.
Yes.
I need to air this out on the pod to the dozens of our listeners. Do I keep the mustache? Because I realized my mustache has been on been doing it since the quarantine thing started, and I don't even realize I have it anymore. And it's kind of weird because it's one of those things when you pop out in public first, oh, I have a mustache, you're a little aware of it, and now I don't even realize it. I just can't even imagine I just don't know what people think of me. I'm so casual about it. I wonder if but I think it looks good on me. Jenna, she's indifferent. Which I don't think she loves it, but I think it looks good.
Okay, I think it looks good too, and I think that's huge that the girlfriend, and I feel like, she would tell you how she was feeling. If she hated it, she'd tell you. So the fact that she's indifferent is huge for you.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I do wish she'd be a little more stoked on it though. It's I think I think it's kind of a game changer for me. It adds another layer. It's just like it's just a new, it's a new like
It's
I don't know, variety.
exactly. It makes people think like, oh, this guy's funny, and also like good looking. There's a lot of other good qualities about you. We could go into multiple podcasts about that, but then also, hold on, this guy's got a killer mustache. What's this about?
Killer mustache. Super casual.
Super casual. And it doesn't look like you're trying too hard.
I don't think I'm old enough. I don't think it's like as like dirty. It's not like a dirty stash, and I don't think I'm old enough right now where it looks like a creeper.
No,
stash.
You're at the perfect age.
Like, yeah, I think perfect age, length of the stash. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes.
We'll see where it goes. And I feel like it'd be different if you kind of had a little like stubble on your chin, like a neck beard, like I have. You don't like you. I think you just need to go clean shaven, like you have been with just the stash, because that's just such a power play.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100% is. 100% is. So and I feel like post quarantine, post Ronies, you're gonna see a lot more people.
Oh yeah.
Rocking their mustaches. I can bet on that. Yep. Last thing I want to say before we talk about the NBA, we discussed in the last episodes, the Property Brothers.
Yes.
This is one thing, because we talked last episode about how they were just how one of them was dating Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah, just one of them, not two.
But dude, like I said, they definitely do like joint dates. Like I don't think the brothers leave their sides. I bet you they live together.
You think so? I mean, probably.
I hope so. I maybe that's it.
But I feel like they could design a house to where like they could live together but also never see each other.
True. It would of course, it would have an open space, it would feel real open, but they would maybe an east to west wing to get some seclusion.
Yes,
absolutely. An open living room for enjoying guests. I really think we're onto something here.
Yeah. But what about
why am I on there? Okay, yeah, sorry. I was on the wrong website. I just saw pictures of them and couldn't stop scrolling for more pictures. So here we can shorten this, but this is all you need to know about the Property Brothers is okay, wait.
So while Kev looks at, are you ready, or you need a little intro for me?
You can intro. I'm trying to find.
Okay. Yeah. So while Kev,
the part where it talks about you keep going.
So Kev's going to talk about the Property Brothers here in a second, and you interrupt me whenever you found it, Kev. But I just want to talk.
Actually.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead.
All right. So we talked about last episode. There's two brothers, right? There's Drew and Jonathan Scott. Johnny Scott being the one that is currently dating Zoe Deschanel. So quirky, so different.
She's not your average girl.
Yeah, so both brothers are licensed real estate agents, but they didn't start off working in real estate. Well, I mean, it kind of went hand in hand. So Drew wanted to be an actor, actually, and Jonathan sought a career as an illusionist. So Jonathan wanted to be some type of magician, some type of David Blaine, Chris Angel kind of guy. But they began working in real estate and design fields to support themselves financially. They moved out in LA. Were trying to make it as an actor, as a magician. So they got a little bit into the real estate business. So, and this is all I got to say. At the mere age of 18 years old, while they were in college, so I assume freshmen in college, they bought their first house and sold it a year later for a $50K profit.
What?
And it's just, I don't know. It's just like when you're born to do something, when you're good at something and something comes natural, that has to be some kind of sign. Like if you're flipping a house and making a $50K profit at 18 years old, you gotta be on HGTV.
Yeah, that's a goal. I mean, $50,000 any time in your life is a ton of money. Like $50 is a lot to me right now.
For when you're in college, like, what do you think they? Yeah, what do you think you just put all the boys on? Like,
I think he had to have, but maybe not. I don't feel like the Property Brothers are the type to just put their boys on. I feel like they're maybe give them like, here's $5 for a 4-for-4, but they're not going to really give them like, hey, here's 100. I'm going to invest in your business kind of guys. I feel like they're kind of out for themselves, if we're being honest.
I have no reason to deny that. I think they're very clout driven. You know, but
they're kind of dope though.
I think they're dope. They're dope. They're cute. Like I say for now, we'll just hold judgment on the Property Brothers for now and just kind of follow the situation with Zoe Deschanel, maybe more so from a bird's eye view.
Yeah, maybe we just give an update every week.
Yeah, I mean, every couple of weeks, we'll keep our listeners in the know on what's going on. But
yes.
We certainly can't be diverting the Property Brothers as much attention as Redbox. We never got to do our sponsorship too, so shout out to Redbox movie rentals. I mean, I just can't say it enough. There's nothing more American than driving over to your nearest Redbox kiosk and sliding your credit card in there, plopping out a nice DVD movie. Hassle-free returns. Just go drop it off the next time you're heading to the store. Great movie selection. New movies. They have new movies that just came out on theaters. Like we said, Netflix, they're giving you the oldies. They're giving you the classics, right? There's a lot of good movies out. I mean, you saw Uncut Gems, great movie.
Yeah, Adam Sandler.
Killed it. He killed it. I also thought The Weeknd killed his part.
Yeah, I thought he really did too.
Although very short-lived, he really, he got his message across, and it kind of like his whole album rollout, his most recent album, the way he it's called After Hours. Yeah, his whole rollout and the promo of it kind of coincided with the vibe I felt like he was trying to act in that movie. If what I said just made any sense.
No, I think it's a great point.
He has the black eye and the bloody nose and all that shit, so it was cool. It was cool for sure.
Yeah.
I thought Kevin Garnett killed it.
Yeah. I mean, talk about plot. Who comes up with, I mean, I won't give it away, but it's basically I think it's based off the 2012 Eastern Conference semifinals. Yep. And I mean, they just tied that in so well with what was actually happening. But the only problem I had with it was Kevin Garnett was flying from New York to Boston and Philly all the time. How was he in this guy's shop? But I thought it was great. And I want to say one quick thing about Redbox. Think about if you haven't watched the DVD for a long time. One of the best feelings is putting your DVD into the DVD player and the main menu pops up. You've got your scene selection. Do you want to jump to a certain scene? Easy. Do you want to watch the special features where there's a 12-hour uncut director's cut? Probably not, but you can.
Nope, I do.
Do you want to learn Chinese? There's a button you watch in Chinese. It's easy. Yeah. It's all on the main menu. Redbox, DVDs, video games. It's easy.
Yeah. So to that, Vogel, I would not only say fuck Netflix, fuck Hulu, and fuck Amazon Prime, I would also give a big F-U to Rosetta Stone. Because Rosetta Stone cannot teach you language as well as Redbox can. You can take that to the bank.
Yeah, that's certifiable. So, yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more with Kev. Thank you for the sponsorship. But what I really do want to talk about today is the MLB and the NBA.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get into it.
Before I get into the NBA and what they're doing, I just want to ask the question that I kind of asked last week, and I've got a little more information on it. Is what is the MLB, Major League Baseball, doing? It's a known fact they've had a declining fan base and declining attendance, declining revenue for years and years and years. This is your time. There's no other sports on, and I get you got to clear all the hoops for coronavirus, etc. But the Players Association, the Players Union, and the owners just can't figure it out. There's not going to be.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, the NBA might come back before the MLB. The MLB is absolutely butchering their chance. I read this article in the paper. Yes, this is also my substitute teacher for a long time, Mr. Schwarzkopf, a legend. But this is actually about the MLB, not Mr. Schwarzkopf. So, I mean, this is last week. So MLB rejects a 114 game schedule. No way. I think they're just rejected a 70-something game schedule. And I mean, they want to start the season in early July. They want to end the regular season in September and end the playoffs in October to avoid a second wave of coronavirus. So, and I know that the MLB teams would lose games and no people in the stands, but the MLB, there's $787 million in broadcast revenue that they don't want to miss out on. And I don't want to speak on behalf of the players, obviously, because I don't play in the MLB, although, I'm debating a comeback. You heard it here.
Same.
You heard it here first. Yeah, I mean, I just can't believe. I know the players want to make as much money as they can, but like, what's better, making half your salary this summer, or make like your original salary of say $26 million, or making none of it? Like, Kevin, do the math for me.
So that's essentially the argument, right? Since because of Corona, it would be a shortened season. So they're trying to offer the Players Association like a prorated salary, which would be like they'd get paid for like the equivalent amount of games they played.
Right. So my info's
Okay.
my info's a bit outdated. This is from last week, so I don't know exactly how they've updated it. But the MLB's plan included a sliding scale of pay decreases that would leave players at the $563,000 minimum with 47% of their original salaries, and top stars like Mike Trout and Garrett Cole at less than 22% of the $36 million that they had set to earn. So I was wrong when I said about half, but I mean 22%.
Wait. So you're saying Mike Trout was gonna earn $36 million, but he's only getting 22% of that, so now he'll only make $7 million for playing half a season?
I think that's what it was, yeah. And I mean, I get that. Like, that sucks that you can't make it that much money. But I'm not even really talking about I feel like, in my opinion, the guys who are, making that $500,000 minimum, they want to play.
Oh, yeah.
But
for sure.
So I that's my rant about the MLB.
I get that. It's just like, okay, you're still Mike Trout's made hundreds of $1 million, in his life, and I get that's your money, and I get why you would feel like you deserve that money, but considering that we're coming off a worldwide pandemic, I mean they fucking canceled March Madness. Of our things, you're getting a chance to at least, you've been training in the off season, you're getting a chance to at least get half a season. It's in a time where there's no sports going on, so popularity would be huge.
Huge.
And as you said earlier, the sport of baseball has been dying for years now, and It shouldn't be, because it's a time where it's becoming more and more dangerous, like what's going on with football players and concussions and and CTE. So I feel like now would be the time if baseball wanted to collapse and get into a better, just a better market, just more popularity. I mean, I'm rambling a little bit here, but just what are they doing? What are they doing?
When's the last time you sat down and watched an entire MLB baseball game that wasn't in the playoffs on TV? I can't remember.
I would say maybe since the 2005 White Sox World Series, 15 years ago.
Yeah. So, and I mean, yeah, there's the devout MLB fans, of course there are. But think about it. I would be glued to my television watching the Athletics versus the Blue Jays on a Monday morning at 10 a.m., and I would be going nuts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just my rant on the MLB. But
dude, I know, and the White Sox are supposed to be good as fuck this year too. Because Tim Anderson, who last year they all fucking flipped out on for the bat throwing stuff. First of all, Tim Anderson just has an enormous amount of drip.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it's through the roof. It's through the roof.
It's hard for a baseball player to have that much drip.
Exactly. He does it well. He's a nice, he's a great guy. Gets back to his community, really involved. Just, I'm stoked for the White Sox. They got a lot of really good pieces, so I was going to be excited for this year because, I feel like part of the main reason why I probably don't like baseball as much as because I grew up playing baseball, all throughout my childhood. I was a huge White Sox fan. And I just have kind of I still go to the games if I'm in Chicago or whatnot, but it's just it's not quite the same when they're so bad. And the Cubs, all your bandwagon Cubs fans came out of the woodworks in 2016.
Yeah.
So I was hoping 2020, ironically enough, next 4 years it was going to be the Sox time to shine. So maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe 2021, maybe this year if the MLB can figure it out. But, I want to go on more of a positive note and just say that the NBA is back.
NBA is back.
So,
yes, sir.
So the target schedule that I've seen, and if it's updates from the time we release this, which it might, target schedule for this season and next year, they would start training camp on July 9th, which is a little less than a month away. And then the 2020 season, the end of this season would be from July 31st to October 12th in Orlando at the Walt Disney Worldwide of Sports Complex. And we don't need to get into the draft, et cetera, off that. And they would start the next season in December. But right now, I just want to talk about, Kev, the season that's going to be in Orlando. And I'm really excited about it. I've got a lot of thoughts. But one of the things that I saw was that Charles Barkley said that he didn't feel bad for the teams that didn't get invited because if you had, for those of you who haven't heard, only 22 NBA teams got invited to Orlando, and that's not all of them. So it's basically whichever NBA teams are in playoff contention, and I've got it right here. There's 13 teams from the West and 9 teams from the East, and basically anyone who has a chance. And I'm going to get into that in a second. But I don't feel.
Wow.
I agree. I agree with Charles Barkley. I don't feel bad for the teams that didn't get invited. Like, yeah, it sucks, and hopefully the teams that don't get invited aren't negatively impacted for the 2021 season. But do better.
Yeah, but Vogel, just sometimes you don't get invited. Sorry, I can't even talk. Sometimes you don't get invited to the kickback. It's as simple as that. If we're coming off Corona, we're trying to social distance. There was a lot of capacity in places. If you didn't get invited, like it's no hard feelings.
Yeah.
But should some scrub team who's 9th in the East, that's 10 games under 500, go when the Pelicans and the Trailblazers, are like 9th and 10th in the West, but would probably give any of those teams buckets? Like the West is just so deep. You got to do that.
Dude. It's funny that you say that because I'm looking at the standings right now, and in the East, the Wizards are 6 games back of 8th place, and so the teams will play an 8-game regular season schedule and then go into the playoffs. If the Wizards make it to the playoffs, I will do something nuts because they're 6 games back. They haven't played basketball in like 3 months. And that's one thing is I feel like the basketball, yes, these are NBA players. They're the best on the planet. But there's no substitute for actually like being in game shape. And like there's a reason preseason basketball no one watches. Like,
right.
I feel like hopefully, and I think it will, these are the best players in the world. And I think by the end of August, it'll be like pretty much NBA hoops again. But I'm really interested to see like which NBA players and which teams are actually in shape and which ones just look like dog shit.
Dude, I was having that same thought. So before I go into that, it's an 8-game regular season.
Yep.
So they start with a 0-0 record.
No, so
play 8 games.
No, that's a good question. They have the same record that they have now.
Okay.
So like for example, like the Wizards are 24-40, 16 games under 500. There's 6 games back of the Magic in the East, and so there's like almost a 0% chance they make it because they got to win out and other teams have to lose. So yeah, that's a good question, Kev.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so dude, I mean anything can happen. I would hope that they're well off into the season. When this went down, they're like 3/4 of their way through the season, pretty much. So they're in the best shape during the season. I mean, obviously, they, once Corona hit a few weeks, I'm sure a lot of them took it easy. There was a lot of uneasiness. But all these guys have home gyms. They all, have dietitians on the team, telling them what to eat. I would say they're in pretty solid shape. And I was actually thinking, I felt like the July 31st start date was a little late. I feel like they need a month at the most. Like, give them June and start July 1st. Like, 4 weeks of practice when, I don't know. I understand, like, it's just a different level of athleticism and all that. But, like, yeah, they're going to give them rest in the playoffs, right? It's only like an 8-game regular season they have to tough out. So,
right. So I agree. I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see. And I do agree that most of them will be in great shape. And so I'm really excited. But there's a lot of stuff that I've been wondering about, like off the court, because on the court, obviously, we're all excited about, and we'll see how it pans out. I think it's going to be great basketball. I think the NBA Players Association and the league has done an awesome job, and everybody from the top to the bottom has done a good job with getting this hopefully going. But I read a tweet from Woj. Woj, I don't know how he gets all his scoops, but also, so he said, for those visiting Disney World this summer and hoping to see an active NBA player roaming the parks and getting on rides, well, the NBA Players Association made it clear that won't be happening for players nor the family members joining them. The NBA player leadership was informed of a plan to keep 1,600 people in Orlando bubble at any given time, sources tell ESPN. Player families will be allowed to arrive after first round of the playoffs, so not for a long time, likely 3 members at a time. So that's kind of one thought that I had is like, okay, if you're, let's say, Devin Booker on the Phoenix Suns and you're 13th in the West right now, or you're John Wall on the Wizards, what I think the NBA should do is like maybe every day they're there after they are out of playoff contention, which is pretty early probably, like you just assign them a carny. Like, and I guess like I shouldn't call Disney employees carnies because they're not, but for lack of a better word, like you just give them a carny and they just like, who's obviously been tested for coronavirus, and you just let those guys just roam free in Disney, because that would be awesome. Like,
that'd be awesome. Like that'd be so cool. Like I would go to Disney and just like try to see someone.
That's right. So
sweet.
that'd be sweet. So I think it'll be interesting, and I think they will. Obviously the NBA guys and the people who work for the NBA will stay so cloistered and be around each other. So hopefully there's not an outbreak because that'd be really sad. But one other thing I wanted to go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, unless you had something else to say about NBA, before we talk about something else, what's your prediction for the NBA Finals? Who you thinking?
Dude, that's a great question. I'm gonna have to go with the Lakers.
Yeah, and the Lakers were my lock before Corona. Obviously, after the Kobe, when Kobe passed, it seemed like you can't write a better storyline than that. The Lakers gonna rally his team, his home city. They're gonna rally and get the NBA Finals.
Right.
I knew that was gonna be a very emotionally charged playoff run, and I was looking forward to it. But and I still like the Lakers, but I think it is all gonna come down to LeBron.
Absolutely.
Like he is 35 years old, and like he had an MVP season.
And he could still win the MVP. I think that they'll take that into consideration.
Oh, true. Yeah, right. I guess I didn't think. I don't know, but like I just heard stats where it's like when LeBron's on the court, like the Lakers are first or second in the West, like offensive efficiency or whatever it is, and when he's off the court, they're like 28th. Like
that's unbelievable.
He is at 35 years old, so with them having so much time off, you want to think like, oh, this could be bad. But I know LeBron. He's been doing TikToks. You know what I mean? He's been putting that work in. I bet you he's going to come out a monster. And I see the Lakers going. The East is where it's the toss-up.
The toss-up. Okay. And I totally agree with that, Kev. I think LeBron will come back in fantastic shape because he's LeBron. I mean, he could probably not – I'm sure he's been working extremely hard and like keeping his body right. But even if he didn't, he's LeBron James. He'll be fine. He's a monster. So, but one thing I want to talk about, like the Clippers, they're second in the West. I don't want to call them sneaky. But like Kawhi Leonard is a bit of a machine. Like I don't think he's going to need much time to get ready. But also in the East, Giannis, in my opinion, his game, he doesn't really need to have a ball in his hands to stay ready.
Yeah.
Because he's transformed his jump shot. He's a fantastic player, but he's got the type of game. I feel like, if you keep your body right, you just roll the ball out. He's still going to give you 30 and 15.
Yeah, dude, he's a freak. Yeah, I mean. But aside from the Bucks in the East, obviously the Bucks are the clear favorite. I was looking at the odds the other day. It was like Raptors and Celtics.
Yeah.
Were then like plus 700. Gordon Hayward's coming back from the Celtics, something to consider. And the Raptors were playing really well in the regular season.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they had a winning record against the Bucks head to head.
Yeah,
Don't
absolutely.
sleep on Fred VanVleet. And thick-ass Kyle Lowry has an absolute wagon.
I was going to say, is Kyle Lowry going to be in better or worse shape?
Kyle Lowry is going to be about 15 pounds overweight. Kyle Lowry got the quarantine 50.
Yeah, he did. But he's still going to drop buckets, at least for a while. But I think, the one thing I'm a little disappointed about, but I get, is that Kevin Durant's not coming back. He's still injured, and I get it. I mean, it's hard. Like, I wish he would come back just for the sake of the East, because if he came back if Kyrie was playing too, like that'd be dirty. Like they could make some noise because they're in playoff contention right now. So that's a little disappointing. But no disrespect to Kevin Durant. I mean, I wouldn't probably come back from that injury either. It's a bit of a rush.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get him next December. Yeah.
Exactly. They'll be nice. Another similar situation, but more good news is Oladipo. I was thinking about. Vic for the Pacers.
Yep.
You got to. I mean, he's been rehabbing hard. You got to think he's been taking this time to his advantage. And if there's anyone who needed a 3 months delay
it's the Pacers.
in the NBA, it was him. So it's like I was talking to CeeLo about that, and he was just saying they could be a sleeper. And I looked at the Pacers' odds to win the Eastern Conference Final plus 3,300. So. I threw 50 on it to win almost $2,000.
Yeah, and I mean I'm a Pacers fan, and I feel like I'm looking at the record 39-26, which is a really good record, 5th in the East right now without Oladipo.
And Oladipo was not clicking when he was back.
No, he wasn't himself. I mean, he's still a great player, still playing well, but so that is actually I would be surprised if the Pacers, knock on wood, don't make it to at least the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right, I'll knock on wood for that.
Yeah.
But you have some sleeper teams. You have like the 76ers who, I mean, I think they're just like cursed. Like if they couldn't make it to the finals with Butler last year, like I don't think they're ever going to. Obviously, they took Kawhi to Game 7, you know, and he hit that shot.
Yeah, that was a tough shot, right?
6, whatever that was. But yeah, you know that shot. So it's just like bad luck. But then you also have like a team like the Heat that was looking pretty solid. Picked up Andre Iguodala, you know, Jimmy Buckets, Tyler Hero. Like they're a nice young team.
They are, and I mean they've got Adebayo in the middle, stud.
So I mean, no, it's Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, and I think I'm sick of all the Eric Spoelstra shaming. Like, yeah, when he coached LeBron in Miami, they're like, "Oh, he's only a good coach because he's got Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, Chris Bosh." I was like, "Well, yeah, of course he's a good coach. He's got those guys." But then now he's got this team. Like, he's kept the Heat pretty relevant even since then.
Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't matter. Even if he has like a bunch 3 superstars on his team, you can't discredit him because if anything, he's just doing a good job of managing a bunch of egos in the locker room, and you know, you can still, you know, he's still doing something right. You know,
no question. So I only really have 2 more things to say. If you are listening, you work for an NBA team, hire me. I'm very good at video, very good at putting guys, you know, workouts. So hire me. Second thing is, I want to read one more tweet, Kev, and then I'm sorry, we can go on to the next thing. I'm just curious. It says the NBA will consider using NBA 2K crowd sounds during the regular season and playoff games to improve the quality of the games via The Athletic.
So there's going to be no people in the stands?
No people in the stands. I mean, maybe there's family members during the playoffs, but that's going to be – I think I would much rather just have the coaches and the players, maybe not mic'd up, but microphones like close to the benches, because I'd much rather be hearing what they're saying than hearing like a random yeah. So
dude, that's going to be such a game changer. Oh yeah. It's going to totally – Totally, especially in a sport like basketball. I mean, I thought the same thing when they were thinking about having March Madness without fans. I was like, that would totally – having a March Madness tournament without fans would totally take away the underdog's chances. You know, and like in a game in basketball, NBA basketball is kind of similar, not to the extent that college basketball is, but it's a big momentum, energy game, you know, feed off the fans, the underdog. So it's just like – it's just gonna be weird. I hope they should like have everyone mic'd up, and you can just hear everyone cussing.
Absolutely,
like, I want to hear every word. I want to hear every.
I want to hear everything. And I mean, me wanting to be a basketball coach, like I want to hear what the I mean, I guess okay, we don't need to hear their play calls because that's like they're what they're calling and their halftime adjustments. But like, at least give me something. Give me some credit, or not some credit. Give me some like things in my ears where I can hear it. But also, the TNT crew will be in Atlanta, so we got Ernie and everybody. So and Shaq and Chuck and Kenny, so that'll be good. But yeah, Kev, that's enough about the NBA. I appreciate you indulging me. Why don't we move on to the next segment?
Yeah, for sure. We're getting on the phone call. It's been like 51 minutes, so maybe you wrap it up in like 10.
Yeah. Do we want to do the top 5 TV moms, movie moms?
Yes. I was waiting for you to ask.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
All right. Do you want me to go first, or you go first?
Do we want to do it like just 5 total, or are we going like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
Let's do I'll say one, you say one, I'll say one, you say one.
Perfect.
I didn't necessarily rank them in order of best to worst.
I didn't either.
Okay, cool. So this is actually kind of like harder than I expected.
Yeah, it's tough.
I mean, you just like there's a lot of different ways to measure like how what your appreciation for the mom in a movie or TV show is. Is she just really nice? She's there for the family. She's doing something extraordinary. Whatever. I mean, I sat by the pool and thought about it for a good 10 minutes. It wasn't getting much, but I got a list. I'm pretty happy with it. So I can start it off then.
Yeah, let's get it.
All right. So don't know her real name, but my first of the top 5 moms from movie and television is the mom from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
That's such a good one.
Go. Single mom, works at the hotel, raising her twins who are just absolute knuckleheads. Just everything you would want. She's putting on for the family. She disciplines them, but she lets them have their fun. And most Disney child actors turn out to be like heroin addicts and stuff, and and doesn't turn out well for them. But Zach or Cole Sprouse and Dylan Sprouse both seem to have made like, solid lives for themselves outside of acting, they stay out of trouble. So, I think because she was such a good mom in that show, she raised them into the men they are today. No
I
doubt.
agree. And I can't remember which Sprouse brother it is. I think it's the one that's in Riverdale. He just got like arrested
That's
for
Cole
the
Sprouse, I think.
yeah. He just got arrested for the Black Lives Matter protest. So I feel like that's the only time he's gotten in trouble, and that's for a good reason. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, Kev.
He's with the shits for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That's a really good one. I'm kind of upset I didn't think about that.
Hey, for sure.
All
For
right.
sure. What you got?
So my first one, and I just wrote down like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but this is really not in any certain order. Is Bobby Boucher's mom from Waterboy, from a movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Would it upset you to say I've never seen Waterboy?
No, not really. I mean, that's a pretty. I feel like
I
it's
know
kind of a
Adam
cult.
Sandler.
Yeah.
Like the football movie with Adam Sandler.
It's a cult. It's kind of a
seen
cult
him
film.
in full.
Yeah. So, long story short, his mom's really strict. I don't think she's not on my list because she's a good mom. She's on my list because how memorable she is and how eccentric her character is. But also I like her because she comes around in the end and she supports Bobby and Vicky. So that's I'm gonna have to go with Bobby Boucher's mom for my first mom.
Love that for you, Bull. All right, awesome. Well, next on the board with the second pick in the 2020 television and film mom draft, Woe Kenny selects the blonde Sandra Bullock from Blindside.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, a lot. Yeah, thank you. A lot to love here. Sandra Bullock being one of them. Her character, the storyline, based on a true story. I mean, the scene, where she gets in there during practice, and was it Marcus Lattimore? I want to say.
Oh, Michael Orr.
Michael Orr. Okay, I don't know. That's another football player or something. Michael Orr.
Same.
You're right.
I guess he has the same same first name.
Yeah. So, anyways, Michael Orr. That scene where she comes into practice and he's not like getting it, and she pulls him aside. She's like, I'm your quarterback. You protect him at all costs. Just a great heartfelt movie. Sandra Bullock is dynamite per usual. She did something good for her family, good for a complete stranger, changed his life. So we love that.
Yeah, absolutely. That couldn't be a better pick for you, Kev, for your second pick. I totally agree. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna go off a little bit of a different way. I think this might be the one of the most controversial picks. So my second pick of the 2020 TV mom and movie mom draft would be Cersei Lannister from Game of Thrones. And Kev, I know you haven't seen Game of Thrones. And this is another example of my list. And she's not a great mom. She's probably the most evil person ever. But, she really looks out for her kids. She does pretty much everything to make sure her kids are safe, even though all 3 of them die. And, I don't like what she's about, but I do like that she's very controversial. So that's my second pick, Kev.
Love that for you. I'm going to start watching Game of Thrones soon. It's just a matter of getting someone's HBO account. If anyone has an HBO Go, if someone's got to lob that to me, I'll try.
Do you think it's a Redbox?
Maybe.
I don't know. But if you need HBO Go, I got you.
For TV shows, they sell you can get the collector's pack where it has DVDs of all the, I wonder. We need to talk to Redbox about that.
Yeah, we'll send an email to our contact.
Yeah. Our people will talk to their people.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, what's number 3?
Coming up here with my number 3 pick in the 2020 television and movie mom draft is, drumroll, brunette Sandra Bullock in Bird Box. First of all, again, Sandra Bullock pulling it off with another hair color. We love to see that. It's been like a year, some change since I've seen Bird Box, so it was a little fuzzy, but I mean, she has, I can't remember if they're her own kids, or maybe one of them is her kid and another is someone else's. But for the main climax of the movie, is her with these 2 kids, trying to, they're just little kids. They don't understand what the fuck's going on. She has to try to explain. Yeah. So it's just like, I think in the heroics, she comes through as a great mom in that department. Truly an apocalyptic scenario. The only thing better than having Sandra Bullock to guide you during an apocalypse would be Sandra Bullock and Karen Kenny side by side.
Absolutely, yeah.
In an apocalypse. Was that?
Yeah. You're basically guaranteed to be safe if that's the case.
I think so. I think you're guaranteed to be safe.
Yeah.
So
that's good. Yeah. Wow. Way to put in 2 Sandra Bullocks, and I love that. So much. I just watched quick sidebar, Time to Kill with Sandra Bullock. It's I think it's from the 1990s or something. Very good. I think I talked about it in the other one, so go watch that. It's very poignant with everything that's happening today. So my third pick in the 2020 mom draft of TVs and movies, and I would just like to say that my picks aren't because I think they're good mothers. I just think they're great characters. So let's do it that way you will. My third pick would be Regina George's mom from Mean Girls, Mrs. George. You know, because she lets her daughter do her thing, but also is there for her whenever she makes a good turnaround. And she's pretty hilarious. I do love Amy Poehler. Amy Poehler plays this character. So I would definitely have to go with Mrs. George. Hold on. Kev's having a few technical difficulties. We can't really hear him. Well, we're gonna while Kev reconnects to the audio, I got a couple honorable mentions that are on my list. The first one, if you haven't seen the TV show, go watch it. It's called Schitt's Creek. So my character would be Moira Rose. She's got some of the most iconic and funny lines out there, and she plays a mom who just lost everything because their financial advisor took everything from them. So they have to go live in a town called Schitt's Creek in a motel. And she's got some hilarious one-liners, and I think that's one mom that you definitely need to check out on TV because it's a great show. And she really does make a lot of progress and becomes, I think, a lot better mom throughout the show because she seems like a pretty shitty one before it starts. And then my other mom, I'm not really sure why I chose this one, would be Mrs. Stifler from, Mrs. Stifler from American Pie. Not because she's a good mother, but because Stifler is kind of funny. And, you know, Kevin's charging his phone right now. So why don't I just go off my next two moms, and then Kevin can rejoin us here in a second. So my second to last pick, or I guess my number 2 rated mom, and this is a little controversial, would be Robin Williams as Mrs. Doubtfire. So I think that this is probably my best one I've come up with because you might argue, oh, she's not a mom. She's not a mom. Here's Kevin. His phone's coming back to life, so we'll be good. But yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire, because, you know, it's the dad, Robin Williams, really trying to get close to his kids, and he ends up, you know, learning a lot about his kids and doing a great job. And, you know, it's pretty messed up because they don't know that it's him for a long time. Like, how do you not recognize your own dad? So that just shows how horrible he was at the beginning. But then you see the progress they've made, and he actually, I feel like, ends up trying. Oh, he gives the stepdad or the new boyfriend the Heimlich maneuver. So as you see, you know, Robin Williams, Mrs. Doubtfire, makes a lot of progress, and then ends up doing a pretty dope TV show where they teach kids, you know, how to live with separated parents. So that's my second to last pick. But my favorite TV mom of all time, and one that is one of my favorite TV characters of all time, would be Aunt Viv from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Vivian Banks, shout out to you. And there's a little controversy with this one because there's 2 actresses that played Vivian Banks. You know, it's well known that Will Smith has had a really, you know, big feud with Jeanette Hubbard, not sure how to say it. You know, tons of beef for decades. And so she was actually fired after season 3, and they put in Daphne Reed. I'm going to have to give my leg up to the OG Aunt Viv, Janet. So Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is definitely one of my top 5 favorite TV shows if we were doing that list. So shout out to Fresh Prince. Kev, looks like we're still having a few audio problems. We're just charging the phone. And while we're at it, I'll just, Kev's blowing a kiss to the listeners if you're not watching the video on YouTube. And so I'd just like to really say thank you to everyone who's listening. We're going to get to Kev's list here in a second. So after Kev's list, we'll shut it off. Shout out to Emily Denhard. Appreciate you listening to us, giving us good feedback. Shout out to Mike Lateau and Mike Lateau's mother again. Shout out to Kev's friends for really holding it down. Can't remember all your guys' names, but we appreciate you. And, you know, let us know what you want to hear. Our listens have been down a little bit. What's that about? So, I mean, we've got over 250 plays through our first few episodes. And, you know, I do want to talk about what our target demographic is on the next one. So our next episode, we're going to talk a little bit about what our target demographic is. I'm going to talk a little bit more about my pickup basketball stereotypes. I got what I do know how to do is I know how to avoid spoilers for TV and movies, and I'll tell you about that next week. And also probably about the garage sale that I'm going to have this weekend. I'm pretty psyched about it. Kevin's phone is powering back on, ladies and gentlemen, powering back on. So I'm having a garage sale this weekend. Really excited about that. That's one of my favorite things to do of all time. I will be socially distanced, 6 feet away. I'll be behind the table handing out the bread. So my goal is to make maybe $200. We've got some good stuff that we're selling. Selling some stuff for my parents and for my sister as well, so hopefully they can make some bank. And I also next week might be talk about what would happen if we went back to a bartering system. And we talked about last episode about cryptocurrency, and so maybe what would happen if we went the other way, where it was just bartering. That'd be very fun. So we'll talk about that, and also I forget what I was going to say. Kevin's about to rejoin us here in a second. Now I realize why we're co-hosts and why we don't do this by ourselves, because it is exhausting just talking into this microphone by yourself. So yeah, I just like to say that thank you so much for listening. It's been a lot of fun. We want to keep doing this. Hopefully even if we get jobs, I'm close. We'll see, but we'll be able to keep continuing to do this. And thank you everybody. So I will. What else do we want to talk? What else will we talk about next week? Oh yeah, I went to a Storage Wars. You ever seen the movie Storage Wars? I went a couple weekends ago to a storage war where they auction them off and the people rush up. And it was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. We'll talk about that one a little bit and how the guy in camo won 4 out of the 6 units. I didn't buy anything, but we were super psyched. And I think, as you can see, Kev still got the audio difficulties. I'm kind of laughing a little bit, but yeah, that's about all I got for you, ladies and gents. Kev's about to rejoin us, and we'll talk a bit more about the NBA probably in a few weeks when it gets closer. Kev.
Folks?
Yes, Kevin.
All right, I'm back.
Perfect. Could you hear me at all? Or?
No, I couldn't because
perfect. No worries.
I was using my phone for the audio, and then my phone died, so I could have talked to you, but I wouldn't have been able to hear you.
No worries.
The whole time. So
I kind of just closed it out, but I read off the rest of my list. So I'll tell you real quick who mine are, and then you just want to go through the rest of yours.
Yeah.
My second to last pick was Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams, when the dad dresses up as a nanny and pretends to be a nanny, which is
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And then my last one was Aunt Viv from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, just the best mother character of all time in my opinion, even though it was played by 2 different women. Nailed it. So Kev, what about you?
Awesome, I love that. Sorry, my phone is a literal piece of shit, and I've had this iPhone SE since I've had it for 4 years. I need to get a new phone, but it's kind of just like a matter of principle at this point. Right. I don't want. Yeah, I'm gonna ride it out. But I plugged it into the USB in my laptop, and it keeps asking me allow the device to access photos and videos. Sure. I keep saying that's fine. All right, it's charging. I'm at 3% now, so we'll be able to finish it off here. I apologize. We need Ian.
Yeah, Ian, if you're listening to this, help us.
I know you're listening to this, Ian, because you love the show.
Yeah, you're like our biggest fan.
Ian is without a doubt our biggest fan. Shout out to everyone that listens. But Ian is Stan.
Yes. All right.
And he could be our Jamie. He could be our audio guy.
Yeah, we need that.
This episode seems like a real good step in the right direction. I mean, the error we had is all due to my shitty phone. So, nothing, out of our control. This is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. So, for my 4th and 5th moms, coming in at number 4, Jamie Lee Curtis and Freaky Friday.
Yes.
Shout out Josh Krutchick, close family friend. Krutchick recently followed us back on Twitter. He followed Dono Radio back, so shout out him.
Wow.
But yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis. I remember seeing that. Get this, if it's the right movie I'm thinking of, unless it wasn't. But the comedian Jim Gaffigan. Yeah. Oh no. Sorry, that whole story was about 13 going on 30, not Freaky Friday. Disregard.
That's a.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I'm glad I caught myself there. So regardless, great movie. Freaky Friday is a classic. She did, switch bodies with someone younger than her, right? That was the thing. So it's like, she given she was dealt a shitty hand and rose to the occasion. So we loved her. We love to see that. My last one, no great particular reason, but I was just thinking back on moms I knew. And this one's just, I don't even know how to say it. The mom in The Sandlot. Her name is Karen Allen. I looked up. She didn't have like a super prominent role in the movie, but I just remember she was just your classic, like, classic stay-at-home mom. This is set back in like, what year is this supposed to be, like the 70s or the 80s? It's just like old school. Because it was 1776. It was like the centennial. But and she has that great quote where she's just like tells her son, she's like, get into trouble for crying out loud. And she was like, not many moms will tell you that. You remember? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, let's let the kids get into trouble. Absolutely.
Yeah. So she's just she's aware her son is a little shy. She's trying to put him out there. And I just really good intentions, pure heart. A classic movie. Like I said, I was kind of struggling to finish this list, so I'm sure if I like really stuck to it for longer, I could have gotten a better one out. But I was content with that list.
No, yeah, you nailed it. I think maybe there's probably going to be other ones that we think about later that we might just be able to chime in on other podcasts. So yeah, Kev, I think you nailed the list.
I got a challenge for next week.
All right, let's hear it. I'll write it down.
I just got a name for you to write down.
Okay.
I'm not sure where we're gonna go with this challenge, but Drummond Money Coots.
What?
So that's Drummond as in Andre Drummond, Drummond,
Yep.
I believe. And then his last name is Money, like money, and then Coots. Oh, I'm trying to. And I think Coots is spelled like, well, I mean, if you Googled that, you'll be able to find it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how Coots is spelled, but something like Coutees.
Okay.
He's this dude. He has this show on Netflix. I think there's like 2 seasons of it. But me and Jenny used to watch it. But I was just thinking of people the other day, just people I clown on him. I used to always clown on that dude. Just one, because his last name is Money Coots.
Yeah, it's tough.
But he's like bald with like a face tat. But it's like it's because he's bald. He's like a tat on like the like his side up there. So it's kind of a flex. But he's a magician, an illusionist. He is what the Property Brother would have been had he not discovered the thrill and his calling of flipping houses. He very well could have been a Drummond Money Coots, but he does really good like street magic. And then in his show he has on Netflix, his whole thing is he tries to recreate a stunt that has killed a magician in the past. So he goes to like different towns that have like a history of like magicians, illusionists, daredevils, whatever, entertainers, that sort of thing. And he'll go, he'll break down the story of like a famous like Houdini type illusionist who did a trick here and died, and then he tries to recreate the trick or some aspect of it. And it's always like a life or death situation, but it's just like it has to be fixed. It has to be fixed. So if you watch it, there's like no way it's happening. Because what he does, like, I just couldn't think of a reason how he could even pull it off. He does some. If you've ever seen some of those like Chris Angel bits, like they do some fucked up stuff.
Yeah, it's super weird. But what's the challenge?
Wait, what do you mean? Oh, the challenge. See, I hadn't got that far in my head yet.
Okay.
Maybe a Drummond Money. Let's read up on him. Read up on him like we did for the Property Brothers, and kind of just dig into what we can learn about Drummond Money Coots, and maybe if we have like one trick we want to show.
Yeah, we can share the screen. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, I'm all for that. I think it sounds like a very unique individual.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Perfect.
So. Okay,
that's settled.
Right.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Well, everybody, thank you for listening to episode 4 of Don't Know Radio with Kevin Kenny, David Vogel. Follow us on Twitter. Make sure you give us a listen. Send it to your friends. Send it to your coworkers. Send it to your parents. Send it to everybody. Kev, why don't you send us off?
Yes. Thank you. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll be back here maybe Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. We'll be getting Gitter on for an interview soon. Like I said, we got a list of about 10, 15 deep that want to interview for the show. So content is coming. I still don't have anything to do. Might never will. I think I'm going pro podcast now. So
that's the only
we're gonna
logical
keep them
step there
rolling.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna keep them rolling. I actually hired my son Pierce. I gave him access to all my social media, and so now if I ever get like a negative comment about the show or like to me about like how people don't like me, he just blocks it all off. So based on what I'm seeing, everyone loves it.
Everybody.
And we're gonna keep doing it. And that's it. And that's
so Pierce, so long story short, to end the podcast, Pierce is our first intern.
Yes. Hey, here at Don't Know Radio, Bring Your Kid to Work Day is every day.
Every single day. We're very family friendly.
Pierce's intern.
That's perfect.
Pierce is an unpaid intern, but we're gonna pay Ian.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pay him and drip. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.